Hello, my lovelies, and welcome back to Sondering Tarot from here. Hi, hello, and welcome. This is your daily tarot reading for the 11th of November 2024. So, welcome to the 1111 portal. We have our Heart Within a Heart tapestry on the table, and we're going to be using the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. And this is not a deck that I would equate love with, but we do have Venus entering Capricorn today. So this is an interesting mix. I double checked. This is exactly what my ancestors wanted. So this is what we're using. The deck will be listed in the description box down below for those of you who might need that information. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, my lovelies, I am back. All your cards are on the table. There is a lot of them. We have one ace, 8 major arcanas. We have 2 synchronicities. We have 222 and 999 showing up on the table. And as much as I do not view this deck as a love deck, it is a shadow work deck. We're going to dive into this and see where it leads. I have a feeling this is going to be a little bit of a spin, but bear with me. Alright, best part here today, we start off with the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse. Justice. The King of Cups. The 9 of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Swords. The 2 of Cups. The Ace of Cups. The Hangman. The 5 of Cups. The 10 of Pentacles. And the 2 of Wands. This is very much a roundabout, wordy way to say this, but long story short, something in the past dissolved. It was not the brightest, happiest moment. So maybe you got fired from a job. Maybe you quit a job. Maybe a friendship dissolved. It was not able to reconcile with that person. Perhaps you broke up with somebody. Perhaps you divorced somebody. So take this in relationship aspects, platonic and non-platonic. However that relates to you, because this is a mixed bag. It is a general reading. So, relationships soured, they deteriorated, connections deteriorated, you went your separate ways. Whether you were forced to or it was mutual, what have you. However, this added to your enlightenment, your own self-worth, simply because where you were not that great at your own skill level, whether this is, communication, thought processes, habits, etc., that got readdressed, especially in areas when it comes to your emotional availability. And this has been some time. Because this particular outcome you've been waiting on for a while, for the recompense, for the pendulum to swing the other way, as it were, on this. Okay. So, good news. Bad moment in the past did aid in growth. Self-growth. Self-mastery that we see here in the 8 of Pentacles reversed, because that's what got rebalanced with the Justice card. Okay. I think we're able to move on here. And that's actually how it should be. When everything's a growth experience. We have connections that come, we have connections that stay, we have connections that go, we have the connections that are come and go just as quickly as they arrived. Not everything is meant to stay, but there's also vital connections and relationships that we experience that do give us a certain amount of growth, the lessons learned. Sometimes people come not to stay, but to give us lessons, and apparently some aspect of that happened to you. Like I said, platonic, not platonic, whether this was a lover, a friend, like I said, a business, maybe your employer really freaking sucked and treated you like garbage. So you went your separate ways, whether you were fired, whether you quit, doesn't matter. And that was a struggle, but it brought you new knowledge, new skill set. You learn to recognize things, to know your own value, your own worth, and to be fortified and emotionally available or detached as needed because of that. Okay. Okay, so whether we assimilated this over a long period of time or if this is something that you've assimilated new, you know, like being emotionally available, if this is a new thing, you're waiting to actually utilize that to the utmost. But for a majority of you, that's something that you've had for a while. It's just being highlighted today. You having overcome, having the fortitude to withstand everything that happened and to get the gist of what the lesson was. And you've been waiting with that knowledge, with that lesson, waiting to utilize it at the next opportunity. Whether that means you encounter another bad employer and go, nope, not taking that job. I already saw the red flags. We're not doing that again. Or, you know, you encounter somebody and they're the most fascinating thing ever. And you seem to have a real connection for them or to them. And that being said, you've been waiting in the wings going, all right, I'm ready. This is the person that I want. So therefore, not only am I emotionally available, but I'm able to give my time to them as needed. Okay. Interesting. We're all over the place with this Venus and Capricorn placement, but I gotta go with what they gave me. Now, the worst part of our day, we start off with the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Swords in the reverse, the Devil in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Okay. Now, for some of us, we did not understand the lesson. We didn't get the vital information needed to fix the areas where we could self-improve. So we fell a little short. So moving forward in a better manner, being emotionally available, being more integrated is something that we are very much still lacking. Therefore, not being able to detach from a previous pattern. Whether that's us ignoring bad habits of a previous employer, we don't see the red signs. We don't see the red flags. Perhaps we have our own bad habits in relationships, and because we didn't learn the lessons of why that fell apart, whether that is a platonic friendship or a love relationship, we may be doomed to repeat that. All because we didn't understand the lesson. We don't see what we did wrong or how we can improve. Something got lost in translation. The lesson didn't get learned. We did not assimilate properly the growth point that we were given in this situation. Fell through. Or we just decided that that was not the best course of action, and that's not the direction we ended up heading in. So even if we understood that, oh, yeah, I was responsible for this, they were responsible for that, there was some emotional growth. There was growth in other areas. We might have actually chosen to ignore it and head in a different direction. And unfortunately, it's the wrong one. So you get part of a repeat cycle until that growth is fully there. So anything you plan in that type of energy, it kind of falls to the wayside. It ends up being wasted. So connections fostered underneath that energy are kind of somewhat doomed to a slow or quick death, depending on what the hiccup was when it comes to the work that was needed to improve for you. Toxic patterns, emotional maturity, being made available. They've highlighted emotional maturity mostly for me. So hopefully for most of us that are resonating with this, we've realized our own part that we've played. We're older, we're wiser, we understood. So therefore, hopefully we are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes. Now the obstacle, or how to get over the obstacle, we have death in reverse. The lovers in reverse. The hermit in the reverse. The magician. The king of wands in the reverse. The two of wands in the reverse. Oh, sorry. Let me correct myself. Two of swords in the reverse. The three of swords in the reverse. The fool in the reverse. The two of pentacles in the reverse. The eight of swords in the reverse. And the king of pentacles. Okay. This was basically how to get over the obstacle, and hopefully a lot of you have already done this. You've already learned the lesson. You've already integrated. Like I said, at one point there was a relationship, a connection, platonic, non-platonic, work, personal, whatever, and that dissolved, which allowed you to get to know yourself again. You being solitary on your own. How you connect, how you act in a connection, how you act solo, and giving you space to not only relearn yourself and hopefully have new knowledge and therefore new skill sets available to you, but you get to recreate yourself for the better. Of course, in that energy, you probably haven't really done much. So say you went through a breakup Okay, you were probably single for a while, right? Makes sense? And this is where you made choices. You know, new life, new you know, doing things different. You were healing. You were choosing to move differently, not moving forward, not choosing anything else. This was a rebalancing stage, hopefully, to free you from some of your hang-ups, to shed skin, to mold you, get you ready to where you can show up correctly. Having integrated the lesson, gaining that maturity, learning to take responsibility, to show up in a more authentic vibration. Okay. So as much as a painful experience, probably in the recent past or even further back, was uncomfortable, it served a purpose. It was to lead you to your own lessons, your own growth, and to help forge you on a better path afterwards. It had a purpose. And the King of Pentacles is a lovely, stable, secure energy. This is great energy to end on. To be abundant, to be nurturing, to be steadfast, to have that fortitude, to be secure. And that means security in all things. If this was an employer, well, that means you start to be more financially stable. If you were in a relationship that was maybe toxic, abusive, this is you being healthier, non-toxic. If we're talking about, a strict love relationship, this is you being stable, mature enough to show up and be confident, secure in yourself. Being in the right mind frame to not only have an abundance of everything for yourself, but enough to give to another so you can reciprocate, show up correctly. And for anyone that had any insecurities in the past, this means that the energy we end on, that is no longer there. The only card that could make this a little bit better is the Emperor. We don't see the Emperor on the table, but King of Pentacles is still a fabulous card to end on. Okay, there was a rhyme, there was a reason. So hopefully our insecurities, our emotional unavailability has, left the building. Okay. And I have to mention this again, because this is the 1111 portal. So this is not just a daily tarot reading. This is the 1111 gate reading. And then, of course, we have Venus finally entering and transitioning into Capricorn for a bit. So, you got multiple things going on here. So this will be interesting to see this play out. So if this doesn't resonate for you on just for today, please remember this is a portal energy. And this is also an overall Venus transition. So this energy might shift and show up a little bit later. So if you get drawn to this reading, and this is like 2 weeks after the date for this reading, which is 11/11, the 11th of November, 2024, don't worry. You might still resonate with this energy because of that. Okay. And I did add up all your cards. Everything here adds up to 139, which also reduces to 4, which in numerology is fortitude. Okay. Huh. That's an interesting hurdle you were presented, overcame, and hopefully came out the other side. It's almost crucible energy. Ha ha ha. My ancestors are funny. They are pointing out the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse because of the flames on it. Forged in the fire. And a blacksmith is usually depicted on the Eight of Pentacles. And in this case, that's exactly what it is. Can't say they don't have a sense of humor. And for those of you that do like the astrology, yes, Venus enters Capricorn. So this is, yes, traditional love. You being more grounded, more responsible, being able to take communication a little bit more serious than perhaps you had previously. And being more practical with romance, or in this case, connections in general. Like I said, this resonates as both for me when it comes to the collective, both platonic and not platonic. It's connections and how you act in relationships with others, whether that is with a business, whether that is with a friend, whether that is with a lover. It all applies. Alright. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here and stop babbling. If it resonates for you, by all means, give me a thumbs up. If it does not, no worries. It is a general reading after all, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.